everybody? Art Eddie here for another edition of Lag, Libations, and Lost Save. This is volume 10 if you're scoring at home. We're going to have, Slothy has a great review. We're going to have a round table. It's going to be a freestyle. It's freestyle February. That's how we do, I guess, in February, or a lack of planning. But who cares? Other ways, we're going to have fun. And, of course, we got the news. So I hope you all have a beer, enjoy some game talk, enjoy some people just enjoying life. So let's get on with the show, everybody.
That was well said.
That was. Man, it's been a while since I've been in this chair, making sure my cushion and everything's good.
I know. Got to get in and get settled. It's been a little. It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh, that's how it goes. How you been, Rod?
Good. How you been doing?
Can't complain. It's a new year. Same old 20 pounds more of me, but that's all right. Damn holidays, but that's what turkey and ham does to you. Oh well.
According to the State of the Union, the pandemic's behind us now, so we'll see.
Okay.
3 years later.
Cool. So I can't blame the pandemic weight anymore. Fuck that. I'm still going to try anyway. All right, let's kick off into this. So, of course, how can we not address this right off the bat? Nintendo Direct. So we got ourselves a look at some upcoming Nintendo titles with today's Nintendo Direct. So following the usual format, Nintendo showed off some of their smaller titles, some expansion editions, and a hit of nostalgia along with the big finale, because that's just the way it has to be done. So we'll hit a couple notable ones here. So today's Direct started off with a brand new Pikmin 4, showing off a brand new doggy-like creature. And in preparation, I was watching it, and my wife actually had to sit down and watch this with me. She's like, does that dog have 2 legs? Like, I don't know. It's like you're pulling up little plant people out of the ground. What do you expect? So also with that, we got to see some new upcoming expansions for Xenogear as well as Splatoon. And then let's get into some nostalgia time. So available right now, actually, which was really cool to see, is an old favorite, Metroid Prime Remastered. And keeping up with the nostalgia is the announcement, and I know Gil was pretty excited about this, was the original Game Boy, or some original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are going to be available on Switch Online. And I thought the crazy thing was when they were showing like you could switch the different screens, where it's like the original Game Boy Color, and then like the advanced color. I don't know who wants to sit there and look at the old like gray and green screen where you're trying to struggle like playing that thing in the back seat. It's like you're on the way to your aunt's house and you're just trying to catch the street light. So you're like, where the fuck is Mario? Kirby's dead.
Don't knock the monochromatic Mikeys that are out there, man. They like that gray.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. To each their own. I'm just saying that might be why I have to wear glasses and contacts and sitting too close to the screen. Okay, I fucked that up a little.
But you had the Nintendo. But see, we missed last month. We got to go back, because I've envisioned in my head right now a lot of dads opening that can of whoop ass when they're kids on the Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like, step into my world with GoldenEye, son. Yeah, I think a lot of dads are opening that can right now.
Great for odd job slappers only.
Right.
Wait for the rockets and just Golden Gun. You are Gen Z, you have no idea what's coming your way. No idea what's coming your way. That's all right. Everyone needs to get a little comeuppance in their life. It keeps you humble.
Yeah. You don't jump up and down on that game. So
no,
just saying.
No, not so much.
You can't bring that COD stuff in. Nope.
No, yeah. Good luck. No diving, no dodging of the rest of it. You just get in the way of that, and you're done. That's pretty much it, man.
A lot of dads in the living room giving it to come in Matumbo. Matumbo right now.
Not in my house. So to finish out, at least with the Direct, last and certainly not least, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. So this round's trailer was a good bit longer than the brief preview that we got last time, and showed off a little bit more of the landscape as well as some baddies. So not only that, got a release date too, May 12th. So 3 months and a couple days.
Yeah, that's got to have the Zelda heads exploding out there.
Oh yeah,
that's a popular. I mean, that's just Zelda players, and they've been looking for Zelda and Final Fantasy are the ones that people come out of the woodworks when they bring those.
yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's a strong fan base, but that's also where it's like when you come, you got to come correct, or else they're gonna fucking tear you apart if
Oh
it's
yeah.
not. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. So why not just stick with the Nintendo news and something that I really don't think surprised most of us? It was announced that the Switch has now sold more units than PlayStation 4 and Game Boy, and that's with a whopping 14.91 million units. It's a lot of consoles.
But you know what? I never took the Game Boy as a console. I've seen that come up in reports. It was a handheld. It wasn't a console.
Yeah.
Let's not just throw everything in the same bucket. I mean,
right.
I feel like the Game Boy is kind of getting slid with everybody else, but Game Boy's on this, doing its own thing out there. It's like Deion Sanders shutting down half the field. You don't got to bring him into the rest of the huddle. Yeah. He's good. He's good. Just let him celebrate over on the side. But they're kind of swapping them all together, and it's like, no, somebody called them out on that. Like, that is not a console.
Yeah, I guess I agree, but then I can kind of disagree just a little bit. Where you can dock it to play on the on the big TV, and it still can, like, you can play on the couch with your friend or something. But I know it's a very, just like the original Game Boy, a very gray area. It's like you
Steve's
just
trying to please everybody. You can dock it. You can dock it.
I mean, you can.
I don't know where we're taking the show right now, but I feel like you can dock it. So.
I think it's just got a couple new fans. The Game Boy, or the Switch.
Put that on Twitter tomorrow. # dock it.
You're going to have a very different kind of people reaching out to you, man. I mean, again, to each their own. Cheers to you.
I'm going to start getting texting in the Navy and YMCA playing in the background. But go ahead. It's like, oh, they got these Village People fans.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wow, that's a really cool construction hat. Oh, God, what are they doing? No.
That'll be Mario Smash 4, running away. Yeah.
Something smashing.
Need a bigger hammer.
But even if you're going to put it in just to the handheld category, I mean, that's no easy feat, just having like that many units sold. I mean, because really there's, not a whole lot getting to there. And at least just in that, I think it's also just a matter of like monetary sales, which I think came out to like 122 million. But instead of just giving the dollar figure, because that goes up and down of what something costs, it's like the units, I think, is the big drive. Yeah. And there's only 3 ahead of them, which are PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and the Wii. So, I mean, they're also in just having more titles on the way and really no end in sight. That number is going to keep rising. And eventually, I think we might end up seeing it in one of those number 3 spots. But you never know. I mean, time's going to tell with that one.
Well, we know it's not the 5 or the series, just because half the people can't get it. So
no. It took so damn long. Nintendo's like, oh yeah, you want some of that? Here, we got you covered. We know all about supply chain. Been in that game for fucking 35, 40 years. Oh man. All right. So on something a little bit different, not exactly like a specific game related, something really cool. For the very first time, the audio masterpieces of video games are getting major institution recognition, or at least you can call it that. Yeah. So this year actually marked the first time that there's a Grammy Award for Best Video Game Soundtrack, like specifically. And I know, like, I'm sure with yourself and a lot of other of my friends, there's just certain game soundtracks that just kind of resonate with you. And I've even had some friends where they're like, I'm just going to download the whole soundtrack and listen to it while I'm in the car. I mean, not always myself, other than maybe like Assassin's Creed 4 and just like 2 hours of sea shanties and my wife. Uh,
Does it have to be the music, or can it be like just soundtracks from the game? Like,
I
I feel
think
like if you do like some Call of Duty soundtracks, I mean, it'd be like a Eddie Murphy stand up. I mean, with some of the words and stuff, and Dave
right,
Chappelle and
yeah,
somebody, right?
kinda,
But yeah,
kinda. I mean, but it's funny you say that because like the nominees included Aliens Fireteam Elite, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Call of Duty Vanguard,
oh, Vanguard made it. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Old World. So out of that, Stephanie Ikonomu, I should have actually saw how to say her last name, but close enough. Got you covered. Um,
I was so
but
hoping you could say Stephanie McMahon. She's got a chair. No,
yeah,
that's
oh
one
my
of
God, she killed them. She killed all of them. Call of Duty's dead in the ground. She took the statue home for her work on Assassin's Creed. So you know
Okay.
it's a big congrats to her and the others nominated, and it's cool to actually see them getting like pushed a little bit further into a little more of a spotlight, where I feel like that's a category sometimes that takes a backseat to graphics or something else.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Assassin's Creed. I haven't played it yet for that one, so I'll have to now listen to the soundtrack a little closer
Oh, there you go.
and
Yeah,
actually
because
get into it. I mean,
playing in a Grammy award-winning game, which
yeah,
just sounds weird, but
yeah.
it's 2023. Nothing's weird anymore.
Yeah. Did they give it to her? I wonder at the show, or was she one of those pre-show like, yeah, we're not really bringing you in, but here's your pre-thing ahead. So
Gotcha.
you can get some shrimp or oysters or something, but yeah, we're not going to announce you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing lasts for hours, so that's probably just one where it's like, we're not going to put you on TV, but we'll put some text up on the screen that says you did this. And she's like, you know what? Good enough. Give me the statue. I'm going home. I got something else to check off on my resume.
That is funny when they roll that scroll and it's like other winners, and you're just getting your name and it's just scrolling. The scrolls fast. You can't recognize because it goes so fast on it, but it's just
yeah. And then half of them is like, best voice actor in, a children's animated series for 7 and under on, pixelated stuff. It's like, what? Where do you come up with this shit?
Like, we're gonna put your name on the screen, or we're going to give you a coupon for Sizzler, and you're good.
Okay. You know what? I got to start making some music. You get to go to Sizzler. God, you can't tempt me with that, Rod. That just sounds like way too good of a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if they're doing that category, I'm going to put in for probably the front runner for next year is probably going to be Last of Us, because everybody's playing that game like crazy.
Oh yeah, and
sales have spiked since the show came out. So.
Oh yeah, and that doesn't surprise me, and I'm sure if they can find a way to kind of like tie it in for something for like the show possibly getting something, and then the game, they're like, look at all this, we're creating more buzz. But I mean, hard work's put in, so if they earn it, then good on them. I'm not trying to shit on anybody.
By Christmas, there'll be plush toys, all kinds of shit coming out, I'm sure.
Yeah,
probably all kinds of Last of Us type stuff. I mean,
get your own portable clicker. I'd buy one. I'd buy one anyway. So it's like I joke, but no, fuck it. Take my money. I'm good.
Don't get a Chucky this year. Get a clicker. Oh, can't wait Halloween. How many people will be dressed up with like Last of Us? So that'll be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, it definitely will be. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
All right. To round this out, Sony did announce that its PlayStation Plus collection is coming to an end on PS5 in May. So
for the 15 people of us that have it. So yeah,
exactly. So I mean, this gives PS5 users and the other dozen or so of us about 3 months to be able to claim these 20 games before they go away. Sony, they didn't really give like any certain reasons on why they're doing away with it, but the service launched in November of 2020. So that was probably like, come play these titles because we don't really have a title base like up. You want to play Last of Us? We have that. At least I think that's on there. I know I have a list somewhere.
But they're getting rid of the different games or the whole essentials. They're keeping the essentials, right?
They're keeping the essentials.
But if you redeem the games, you can always keep them in your library too.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it was just a collection of 20 games that they're like, these were like big titles on PS4. So you can play the PS4 versions on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. They did say as long as you put them in your library, you're still going to be able to access them as long as you keep subscribing to PlayStation Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if you let one of those months lapse. They're just like, it went away. We don't need to do this for you anymore.
Well, what they don't tell you about it, for those of you that have the PS5 and have dealt with it, it's like the used car fine print. Because anybody that has it, especially if you put the Call of Duty games in, your memory gets shot to hell.
Oh,
so you
you want a 100 GB update?
Yeah.
Like, that's a fifth of my whole storage. Maybe.
Like, we'll hold it on our library. You don't have to put it on your system. Yeah. Then the library is gone. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you can't touch that game anymore. It's like, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Good looking out.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a 4 terabyte hard drive, a 1 terabyte internal, and a 5-something console, and I'm still running out of memories. I'm just saying.
It's crazy. Yeah. I finally started hitting the point of not having enough like memory and space, and I'm like, all right, what do I get rid of? It's like now it's just kind of pick and choose. So I mean, it's the world we live in now. Just you want to consume it, good. Download more, make some space, go with it.
We need Congress to do something about that.
Yeah, exactly. Because if there's anything that needs to be done, damn it, I need more internal space for my video games.
China can get a balloon over our airspace, and then we can get more storage on our systems.
We can throw 2 more terabytes inside of it. Come on. This is America.
What the hell is going on out there?
I know. We live in a fucking crazy world, man. But yeah, at least if you got a PS5, just go on, add them all to your library. I mean, you're talking, like Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, the 2018 edition, Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, some other ones. There's a Mortal Kombat in there. So it's a good list of games. So, throw it in the library, be prepared until they take that away from you too.
Yeah. Yeah, until then.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. That's all I got. Just a few of them there, man. But God, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
Yes. And to that, cheers, my friend. What do you got tonight?
What do I got tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight I am kicking it right now. Hold on, I'm gonna switch it up here in a second. South DC Cream Ale for our good friends there over at Liquid Intrusion Brewing, who I just did an interview with over on the Rajay Beer Ventures channel last night, and dropping the podcast tomorrow at 9 for the replay of that as well. So out of Brandywine, Maryland, getting stuff going. Started because of the pandemic, and 3 years they're already canning their own stuff and getting pushed, and it's not we talked about in the show. It's not a matter if you get knocked down, it's how you get up. So
exactly,
they were in a bad situation, they turned it around, opportunity presented itself, and they were able to roll with it. So that's why you always prepare yourself.
That's
serendipity.
Awesome.
I'm a big believer in serendipity.
There we go. Beautiful. Awesome. I don't have a great story with that. I have Trogs. It's Nugget Nectar time. Tis the season of the Nugget Nectar, but I mean, I'm also a Trogs fanboy. They're local, so we get a good amount of their stuff. But yeah, they were around for the pandemic, and they're just a really big brewery, so they won't go away.
Yeah, I'm sure Doug's already plotting his way to get down there for the new Elf beer. So
yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Honey, we got any plans this weekend? No. Well, how about a trip to Pennsylvania?
It's like,
I guess.
It's like, why? Okay, you want to go to Hershey Park? That would be a lot of fun. Oh, shit. All right, so we are going to move on to the next. I don't know. I'm not producing it. It's what was it? Free for all February or whatever. I forget already. God damn. What's the ABV?
Free for all February.
Free for all February. Yeah. Or Freestyle February. Thank you, Art. The man speaks so eloquent and great things to open up the show. And here I am. Thank God I have you, Rod, or I'd be fucking lost.
At least it's not free something else February. I'd be overdressed. So.
Oh. Still can be. On that note, let's head over to the round table.
Those news guys. They a trip, aren't they? So in the spirit of ending the news, I'm drinking an Imperial Anti-Hero, or in the spirit of them sharing their beers. And here's mine, Imperial Anti-Hero, out of Revolution Brewing out of Chicago. It's a big, nice, mostly hop forward, piney IPA. Or at least I say it's piney. It's not really juicy. Anywho, it's a good one for the time, 10% ABV. So it's good for this evening. What also is good for this evening is our roundtable panel tonight. We're going to do. Earlier today, we decided that I was the moderator, so we're going to have some fun here and hit our roundtable guys with a bunch of questions that I didn't even tell them was going to happen. So you're going to get some immediate, hopefully knee-jerk reactions. So I'm going to introduce my wonderful panel of all of my friends. Love these guys. First, we have Gil from Fandads.
What's going on?
Doing? What's going on, Gil? How are you doing? It looks like Captain America's ready to go.
Always.
Shield in the back. We never did this room rating bullshit on this stream, but we're going to start today. Okay. And I have to give you a solid 8, man, out of 10.
I will take it.
Maybe a 9. If I could see more of those pictures, I definitely see Captain America, and I see Captain America above your head. So I know that they're video game related or movie related. So all that. Oh, the beer cooler. So that gets you to at least an 8.5. So
awesome.
Good work. The next fellow we're going to introduce is the one and only Art Eddie, and he gets a 10. I'm sorry. It's just look at that. NBA Jam in the back just makes it a 10. That's it.
Star Wars.
It could be blank the rest. Yes. I mean, you got lightsabers, you got Darth Vader. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff going on. So that is a solid 10, Art. Again, it's just the NBA Jam. That alone, I mean, come on. We're going to talk about retro games. There's a little tease. And NBA Jam, we need to bring that back. I keep saying it. Y'all need to hear me at some point. No one listens to me. And very few people listen to my next guest, which is Steve.
I have many leather-bound books. My house smells of rich mahogany.
So Steve, you get a 9, man. That's pretty tight. I love it.
Yeah,
it looks real.
It goes all the way down the hall. It's just
I'm wondering who's hiding.
You're like that viral video of the guy who has like the library, like Chronicles of Narnia. Did you see that?
No.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Anyway. Like they're like someone's like a very envious of Grandpa's house, and like they have this old guy open up like the closet of Chronicles of Narnia, and that's like pretty much your background. He's got it. Like that's pretty sweet.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Most I really have, if I share any, I got like my little Vault-Tec bobblehead dude up here. And
okay.
Of course, a gift from Clark a couple Christmases ago is my Metal Gear Solid rubber ducky.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a Revolver Ocelot up there too, but he's kind of like hiding around in the back. But yeah, that's about it. But behind me then is just a closet full of
no, don't ruin it.
Full of books.
No, yes,
it's my closet. See, check that out.
You're trying to ruin the mystique, and I'm not going to let you.
I'm adding more. Maybe there's more books.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's
my bad. Well, we're gonna add to the mystique here and add our friend Rod. What's going on, Rod?
My life, much like my night, much like my day, is all blur. So I live in a world of Jeff Spicoli.
Right. So
there's cool beer, a great wave, toasty buzz.
So I saw your background last segment. Now I don't see it.
Everything
so now,
happens so fast.
Rod, you get an F. You get an F, Rod. Okay.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I think you're just missing your readers. I see it just fine.
Yeah, this is just to mess with Greg. He needs to get his readers on.
Right.
You can't do all that back there, Greg. Do the eye test.
You get an I for incomplete. Damn it.
NI needs improvement, right?
Needs improvement.
Rod, what's going on, man? Nice to see you. I'm gonna hit you first. You last to add, but I'm gonna hit you first. Rod, you wanted to
crack that open.
Liquid and Choose. The Queen IPA. Yeah, I love everything about that one. That's a good one. So, Rod, you wanted to talk about Last of Us. In case y'all been in a cave the last 2 months, Last of Us has debuted on HBO Max.
Yep.
And it's, from what I hear, I haven't seen it. It is a sensational show. People are talking about it. It has buzz everywhere. So I know you want to hit an angle on it. Let's talk about it. What you got, buddy?
So were you like in a cave then? Because you said anybody unless you were in a cave. So you were saying you were in a cave. What's going on in the cave?
If you don't know about Last of Us, you've been in the cave. I at least know about it. I at least know it's there and all that. And see, I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole, but I'm a binge watcher. So you got to have like 8 in the bank for me to even like think about hitting you, because I want to watch them all in like 2 seconds. Anyway, Rod, go on. What's up with Last of Us?
So it's actually a heck of an episode. I don't know how many people in here have actually watched it or like that, but I don't know anybody that probably saw episode 3 and then kind of have like a little tear in their eye or a little bit of a raindrop or something happening. Like one of the best written episodes in a lot of years on any show out there. But the way they actually are doing it and mirroring the game, like I sent you guys a thing earlier in the chat that we had, like they have the scenes where they match up the show to the actual game and they're working in different lines of it, although they are changing a little bit of the story with it and kind of giving you a little bit of a preamble and how they take it for everything that ends up happening. Some people got a little upset with it just because they're traditionalists and they want the game to beat everything. They don't realize it's all make believe anyway, so they can kind of do this.
What?
But
no,
it's like the same people you say wrestling's not real and they get all upset right and hit you with a tape.
What?
Wait a minute. Yeah,
like we're all falling apart.
But the writing, the acting has been all top notch. Would have never pegged for them to put Ron Offerman in the role they put him in on that, and he just blew it out the game. I can easily see next Emmy session he's probably going to get an Emmy for best guest appearance on the show, because he nailed the role when he was on there. Everybody knows him as the funny guy. He was just like this great character. The storyline, the characters are kind of pretty much fitting to the game. So if you are doing it, it's definitely, if you are playing the game, which a lot of people have went out and started playing it again or buying it if they didn't have it to go along with the show, you're finding these similar similarities to the game that it just makes it even that much more intriguing. And then after the show, they get you with a podcast companion where they actually link stuff together too. So, I mean, they're making a whole thing of it. So I expect Halloween, Christmas, us to get Last of Us, last outed of stuff, just like it's going to be all over the place. I mean, I can see where it's going to be like the big hype going into the holiday season at the end of the year. But I'm impressed. I mean, it's tough for me to get shows in with the schedule I have, and every Sunday night, me and the wife are there watching it. Like, we're hooked into it. And it's just like, if she says something, it's just like, 10:01, we can talk about that. Don't do it. Not right now.
Wow.
Not right now.
Wow.
Hold that thought, grab a notebook, make a jot maybe or something like that and everything. Because she's never actually played the game. So for her, it's all new. And I'm trying to find the intricacies of where I played the game up to certain parts and kind of link stuff together and stuff. So it's very cool. Very cool.
Excellent. Gil, do you have any comments on Last of Us?
No, I agree with everything he said. They're doing a great job of matching it up, but it's also interesting what he said about his wife, because my wife, I think it's the same boat. She's not much of a gamer, so she hasn't played it either, but she's really enjoying it. So yeah, you can't talk about it too much. Don't want to give things away, but I think they're doing a good job on it. And I mean, it's in the numbers, right? It's every week the viewership has gone up, which is like kind of a rarity, right? Sometimes you get that big premiere and then it kind of levels out. So every week they're getting more people. And it's exciting this week that we get it early. We get it on Friday, right? Because of the Super Bowl. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if there's more I want to say, but I'm not
I know,
going
right?
to, just because I just, but no, it's definitely worth checking out.
What's going on, Art?
Yeah, man. Like, no, I haven't seen it yet, and this is like a confession. When I got the PS4, it came with The Last of Us. I might have played like a little bit of it, so I feel like a total jerk. Like, I'll like again, see the background like Star Wars. I'm like Battlefront, sweet. And I'm like, what's this game? The Last of Us. Oh, I'll play it later. Now I'm like, do I jump on that bandwagon?
Well, the Art thing, I've never finished the game either. So you're not alone in that, Art. I've never finished the game. The game.
You played it.
I played through it.
I played like maybe 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'll come back to it. Never have. And it's been like how many years since I got it. So I want to be 100% real and not like a funny, like, I love the game, love the show. Like, I heard so many great things about the show. I will definitely check it out. This dude is just started Ted Lasso. That's how far I've been on the where I'm so not the popular person when it comes to TV shows. Unless it's Star Wars or Marvel related, then I'll be checking it out.
There's just so much media out there, though, Art. It's hard for me to hold anybody accountable for in this area, given there's so much good shit out there. Video games, streaming networks, shows. I mean, it's just too much. And then you got idiots like me and Doug and Rod and telling you to watch this on our streams and you got to watch this, and it just feels sometimes it just feels like too much damn pressure, Steve. But how are you, Steve? How are you taking The Last of Us real quick?
I haven't yet, and here's where I think it's almost even worse, because I played both of them, part 1 and part 2. Absolutely love the games. I have not really given myself the chance to really sit down and watch it, which is terrible. I don't have an excuse for it. I mean, I could go with Greg and be like, I want to bank it up, which I do like watching it and banking them so I can do like some in succession. But I know the other guys on the podcast are tearing me to shreds because every time we get together to record, they're like, "Oh, about Sunday, Steve, did you watch it?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Son of a bitch." So not only am I embarrassed for myself, my friends and peers are embarrassed
for you
about me and for me. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will at least say, smart move making it available on Friday rather than trying to compete against the Super Bowl.
That's interesting.
I think because you're hitting like some of the same like demographic and targets and whatnot. So I mean, it's that's good. And then for the people who've been watching every single week, they're like, I don't have to wait 2 more extra days. I get to watch this now. Goddamn right, honey. We're drinking wine tonight. So
right.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see if they could pick people away from the Super Bowl to watch the show and how that would hit the Super Bowl. That'd be kind of interesting.
Interesting, yeah. Interesting, yeah. I mean,
interesting. I was going to say sorry. Interesting, yeah. But no one wants to stop the juggernaut that is the NFL. Like you saw the like I think during the MLB playoffs, and this is like the playoffs, and it was like they didn't want to compete against Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, and it was like week whatever. It wasn't like a playoff week, and they're like, nope, we're not touching it. We're gonna switch off. Then on Christmas, when the NBA, like that's the king day for the NBA, it fell on a Sunday. There were 3 games on the NFL schedule. 2 were like, and 1 was like a good game. I think the first one was like the Packers and Dolphins because of like playoff implications at that. The NBA got their butts kicked from the NFL. And everyone's like, besides like, and this is gonna sound weird to say, like there's the NFL, then like NASCAR, and then like the other sports, and like especially like baseball and basketball. Well, not I say more or less baseball. Baseball is definitely geographic on where people are going to be watching. No one wants to mess around with the NFL because you're going to get shook if you do. Like that's just how it is.
Well, the NFL has the big fantasy dollars of all the leagues. I mean, that's where people got their money tied into, so they're going to watch more too in that aspect.
Oh, and all these bets now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
All
gonna
the
say all the
prop
prop
bets in the Super
bets.
Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that being more widespread as opposed to underground, where what I mean, you used to have to call your bookie on his phone, and you know what I mean. Now you can just dial that up on a website. Gil, did you have any follow up on Last of Us?
No, I already forgot. But part of the thing that the people that would go over to the Super Bowl is probably the people like, oh shit, today's the Super Bowl, and they did go right back because yeah, it's a juggernaut. You don't mess with it. You guys are risk takers, I think, in my because the thing about watching Mandalorian, all those, it's like if I don't watch it like the week of, it's like you're just on the lookout, spoilers everywhere. So I mean, Steve, you played the game, so there's not much they could spoil, but they could have spoiled. The differences could be
Yeah,
spoiled.
yeah.
So that's a risk you're taking. But I don't know. I love it. And you guys should really give the game a chance. It's probably like one of my top 10 games. The game's, I mean, I think I'm on my third version of it that I purchased the first one already, like the original, the remaster, the PS5, whatever version is out now. So yeah, it's really good.
So my comment on it really, and we can move on then, is that in my opinion, Rod, and actually y'all can, if y'all want to respond to it, that's cool. My opinion is that I feel that this show is pretty much the epitome of what all these other shows have been trying to do when they take a video game and make it a TV show. Like this is what they wanted. This is it. It took how many iterations of how many different games in order to be able to bring in Rod J, gaming head, and Rod J's wife, not gaming head. And they're both there hanging out, making an event into it. You also have the people, and you have both, and had that one living room there or bedroom, whatever they watch it. But you have that one dynamic where you have the guy who played the game and was like, "Yeah, this is dope," and then you have the person who never heard of the game and doesn't really give a fuck. And is there and is like, damn, this is dope too. It sounds like she's more into it than the gaming head dude. So this is HBO. Hats off to HBO Max and everybody behind this game, because again, I'm feeling it on a level. I'm like, Last of Us, y'all talking about this like this is some regular TV show. Yes, it's a regular TV show, but the gaming people like us, it was a game, y'all, before it was some great TV show. So I think a lot can be learned from it for people who do this, and it's not just a movie too. So I'm really interested to see where all this goes, because to me it's a lot easier just to make Lara Croft. Who is she? What's her name? The Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider lady. You know what I mean? It's easy. Right, it's easy to make. To me, it's easier to make an hour and a half movie out of a video game than it's to make a series. And how many years y'all talking about doing this? And how many episodes you gonna have a year? And how long are we going to be able to keep up that symmetry between the game and a video game? Because a lot of these video games, a lot of these movies just go off the. You know what I mean? They're just not even. There's like the first 5 minutes is the video game, and then the rest is just them. Adding different things. Whereas it seems like we're in what is this, episode 4 or 5 or 3?
5's coming out Friday.
5's coming up.
Yeah, and these people are still on point as far as being, symmetry to the video game. So I don't know if anybody wants to respond to that, but I just feel it's such a great job. Even I haven't even seen it, but the reaction from people who like games into this shit, Rod, you know what I'm saying? There's something to this. What's going on, Rod?
Yeah. So I mean, they filled some pretty good spots in the creative right and liberties they actually take, because there are things that are a little different than what they are in the game.
You're gonna have to.
But I think a point you hit on there. So if you're doing a game into a show and you're doing like the way they're doing it, it gives you more room to expand, right? So instead of the hour and a half or 2 hour movie, you have 8 episodes, you have 8 hours to expand over one season on how you want to get the first start out. That might only get you through the first third of the game or half of the game or quarter of the game, however long it may be. The thing that makes this one work so well, I think, and even though I haven't finished, I have a lot of friends that it's the well-developed story in the game itself that actually, when you play the game, it's like you're actually part of a movie, so to speak. So it's actually you kind of getting involved into it with well-written parts of it and everything. So it's not like you run around like in Doom and just shooting stuff, right? Like this is actually strategy thinking. Do I have to actually kill this person, or am I more better to be stealth to get around the person? And it's those type of things that actually build into it. So it's actually changing how it is, because in the past you were used to the games become like the movies kind of being like the game, like you said, but not actually being the full game. And this is actually feels a little bit different. Now, this is the first one they're actually doing like this. I mean, they had the Halo series that I know Doug was checked out, but I've never really seen that one. But I know Assassin's Creed is up next as another one they're doing. So it'll be interesting to see. And they want Assassin's Creed to play like the game, not like the movie that came out where it talked about it for like 5 minutes and then it was off into this whole other thing. But this is going to be more like the actual game itself too. So Assassin's Creed is next. Who knows what else they can do, because you have to have certain ones you can do it with, like Mass Effect or some of these other type ones where they have good storylines where you get those single player. I mean, if they ever came out with a Final Fantasy kind of real action movie, you just know people will be hooked into it if it was done right from the different plot and story, because people love the storylines of them. So I think with this one, they've taken their time and kind of plotted it very well together to have some success. And right now, I mean, these things, I guess, technically aren't zombies, but they're kind of zombie-like, and people love zombies. I mean, the last few years, and it's kind of like, guess what? Perfect time to fill the void because of the Walking Dead kickover, right? So if you're a Walking Dead head, now you got something else you can actually jump in that's kind of similar to that.
Right, and during the pandemic, we saw many zombies, real life. So, sorry, that's not.
I told you stay out of the Waffle House.
My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. Anybody else in The Last of Us before we move on? Okay. Gil, you had something to say about Nintendo Direct, something you're very excited about that you saw.
Yes. So I got to say the first 20 minutes or so was kind of a drag, and I'm going through, I'm like, Pikmin, okay, Xenoblade, I don't play that. Shaken Amigo, Fashion Dreamers, that like some Roblox kind of, my kids playing like that in Roblox. But yeah, it was just a bunch of stuff. But then, to be fair, my kid's gonna love Splatoon 3, the DLC. She's gonna be
my boys love that shit.
I also feel like I'm missing out probably on the Octopath games. You guys could tell me more about that if you play them, but they're supposed to be really good, the Octopath Traveler games. But I was excited about the Game Boy games on the Switch, right? And yes, you guys talked a little bit about it on the news, the monochromatic, hey, I'm here for it. Like, I was looking recently, we have some good retro shops in the area, and I was looking at Game Boys. I have one somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I was tempted to buy one, but now I won't have to, it looks like, in the Game Boy Man. So I'm definitely excited about that. But on that note, sometimes, right, and maybe you guys will agree or won't agree, but how can I put this? The excitement of it, like my perfect example was GoldenEye. I was so hyped up for it, right? Coming out, and I played it, I'm like, what the? Like, I couldn't play with the controller. It's so jacked. Like, what? Being honest, I played it one day. I haven't played it since. Yeah, I can't. I'm waiting until I get an N64 controller, I guess, or something. I couldn't make it work, and I'm like, so I'm obviously Tetris is a different thing. You can always play that, but sometimes I think, do we really like this stuff, or is it more of a nostalgia thing? And like for half the time, for me, some games, Tecmo Bowl, I can play that anytime. That'll hold up, but. Yeah, it was kind of like GoldenEye. I don't know. I'll go back to once I find a controller, but I am definitely excited about the Game Boy games.
Art, I see you reacted pretty fun. What's going on over there?
Gil hit the nail on the head with that. Like, sometimes nostalgia is one hell of a drug, right, fellas? Like, it's just like,
give me another.
And so I saw that too, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, should I get that? I'm like, or should I just dust off my 64? I think I need like one of the adapter cables to like actually plug it in. But I'm like, and Gil's reaction was pretty much whether I was on TikTok, Instagram, and everyone like, seemed like, oh, here we go. And then they play the game, like, what the hell is this shit? Like, was I stupid back then? No, you weren't. It was the controller. It was like, and here's the thing. On a show of hands, there's people like in the chat, right? Like, honestly, you weren't playing it for the solo game. You were playing for the multiplayer, right? It was all about the multiplayer. And sometimes, you would play the solo game for GoldenEye because you were like just waiting, wasting time at college or whatever, because it came out like for me when I was in college, and it was like, all right, great. Now it's just like, if you're not playing multiplayer, like, you can miss me with the solo player for that one, because there's so many great games like The Last of Us, who I haven't even started. Like, I played a little bit, but like there's other games that definitely deserve my attention. Multiplayer, GoldenEye, yes, but if you're doing the solo mission, nah. So I just like Gil hit the nail on the head, man. Like, everyone's like, yeah, huh?
Plus, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I'm older. I've lost the steps. And when I try to play some of these retro games, like I don't have the dexterity. My hands are. I don't know what it is. Like you said, I don't know if that we were like, dumb back then or whatever. But it's now like I don't know. My fingers can't function like that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of it may come down to even just like kind of different like controls and whatnot. And it's been so different, and we've been so conditioned with these different controllers and these different types of games at different paces and whatnot. So trying to get back into some of the older ones might be a little bit more difficult. But I'll be damned if I wasn't sitting there watching the presentation today, be like, oh, Link's Awakening, like Zelda, Legend of Zelda DX. I'm like, I used to play that shit all the time. And then my wife said, it's like, they're really hitting the market they want to. It's like the old nostalgia fucks. I'm like, oh, thanks, babe. Love you.
The guys with the disposable income.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think at least like some of like being able to play like the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games as compared to trying to bring back classics like GoldenEye. It's like those were just single player games anyway, where there wasn't really any like multiplayer option and whatnot. So at least that still kind of give you like that same feeling. I have like an emulator on my phone, like for Game Boy, and if I'm on a flight somewhere or something, I'll pop on Pokemon Red. And I'm super content with that, and that's good enough for me. So, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I also think sometimes when they try to hit that nostalgia factor and bring back like the big pops, and then you're looking at like some of the graphics, you're like, oh wow, that wasn't really that great, even as like a remastered. And I mean that we've just been spoiled to no end. It's my library has better background than like 80% of the games that were made during my childhood. So I mean that's just something in it. But I feel like whenever we get these that are supposed to be like, oh, that takes me back, gotta take it with a grain of salt, because it's not going to be the same thing as like Modern Warfare 2 coming out. Something to look forward to in that regard. Just something like, let's just enjoy it for what it is and not have to go hunt down with like the retro stores to get like an old Game Boy to be able to play it. The accessibility to get it is nice, unless you wear an eye patch and sail the 7 seas and know where to get this stuff on the internet otherwise.
And the thing that I was kind of excited too is like introducing it to your kids, right? Oh man, I'm sitting there like excited and turning on the dun, 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 the music comes on. My kids coming like these square boxes, like what are you playing? Like what is this? Like, hey, that was and then all of a sudden I'm not as excited anymore. I'm like, all
right. Just wait till I show you the pause music, kids. You're gonna love this shit.
Exactly.
This may surprise you, but Slothy and Panda, y'all know them or at least a little bit. They were really positive about this, and I was shocked.
Good to hear.
And they were like, wow, like especially the Zelda part and the old Mario games. And I'm like, damn, that was my shit back in the day.
Yeah,
look at that. That's my shit. And they're like, dude, that looks dope. I want to play it. But really, though, I think it kind of just it's more imaginary than true, because I've never seen them play any retro games ever. So, and they say they're cool with it, but they didn't run to download it. So we'll see. Like y'all are right though. It's a nice thing to say, Rod, but I'm not sure if it goes into action so much. Rod, here's your time to jump in on this category.
So I would say of all the systems, Nintendo was probably the least one I did as much on, unless it was the actual standard arcade game. But the whole idea of the nostalgia thing is pretty cool, because I was watching one of the videos for one of the other YouTube channels earlier this week. So this week, PlayStation, they released their free games. You get like the first Tuesday of the month or whatever. And
sorry, Rod.
No.
Sorry, Rod.
Oh, poor Art, man.
I didn't mean to put that in while you were talking. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
Zach, he has been.
Zach's not wrong. So
Zach is here. He's afraid of waking people.
Oh fuck! This is the roast night. I missed the notes.
Yeah,
the microphone.
When Zach and Rod become his roast night. I'm sorry, Rod. I didn't mean to do that.
It's good. It's good. But what was I going to say? Well, one thing I was going to say earlier about the whole nostalgia thing was there, but they released Mafia, the definitive edition, on PlayStation this week as one of your free games to download. But the guy was on the video, and he was like, keep in mind, this is like a throwback type thing, but it's a newer type thing, but it's like not like a new game in 2023. This is like a new game from back in 1990. So it's like it's going to play a little more clunky than you're probably used to because they brought it out just as a remake type thing. And sometimes you have to keep that in mind when you're thinking of the old game. So thinking of the nostalgia, not thinking about the multiplayer thing, probably could have researched a little bit more before the news segment, because if you can't do the multiplayer, you really can't get your revenge back on your kids, can you? Because that's where you want to take it out on them, on the multiplayer. So not having that hurts. But going back into the room rating of things, Art's room, definitely a 10. I might give him a 9.5. But if somebody came through with a slice of pepperoni pizza, then I'd move it to a 10, because I'm looking at the arcade thing. There's like the only thing missing is a slice of pepperoni with oil dripping off of it. And that would be some great nostalgia to have right there. And probably wouldn't leave Art's room, because
he's going to keep moving the camera. There's going
to mind blown.
Yeah.
And mind blown with the pizza. Mind blown.
My other point of nostalgia, if they were to bring back another game, and it's funny because this week everybody's talking about LeBron getting the all-time points and stuff like that. But one of the funnest games back in the day was Dr. J versus Larry Bird 101, and I would love to see a remake of that. And they say everybody's LeBron's like, but if you had that game coming back, would you sub out one of those players for LeBron? Would you keep it Dr. J versus Larry Bird? Or when they did it later, they did a Jordan versus Bird. Are you going to kick out one of them for LeBron? Because if you're not, then you can't be on your GOAT list if you do. I mean, I wouldn't kick out one of those players for LeBron.
No, you gotta do LeBron versus MJ. You have to. No, Rod, you have to.
Bird put up 47 left-handed in the game just to do it. Just to do it.
And it's cool. It's no disrespect to. But it's no disrespect to those guys. I mean, Rod, I love Dr. J. I grew up with that motherfucker. To me, I would have him above any of y'all. But it's just that, like, the LeBron MJ thing will never end in our lifetime.
Oh,
ever. That is cemented, Rod. It's just never
going to
stop.
Bill Russell versus all.
It's
Russell, never going to stop. No.
Well, the thing is, like someone brought up this week. Okay,
I agree, but
understand this: Kareem hit 1 3-pointer in his whole career. LeBron hit tons of them. So by difference, LeBron got like 2,500 points because of the 3-point rule coming into effect.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
In numbers, he beat him, but
I look at I was going to say with.
Yeah, Greg.
Hey Zach, you know Greg is
sorry, Rod.
Zach.
Sorry, Rod. I'm so disrespectful. Go on now. Somebody was saying some shit. All right, you were before we got rudely interrupted again. But I can't.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Bill. I mean, look at the impact, right? They're talking about they're talking about Kareem and LeBron, how they're similar with not just on the court but off the court, right? Bill Russell, you could kind of say like he was the Jackie Robinson of the NBA, and even people in Boston were giving him shit, and like all of the things that he had to go through, and he'd be like, I mean, the things that he spoke up for were fantastic, but then also too being a player coach and winning against championships. Like, I'm a Jordan guy, 24/7. I want to give LeBron his flowers. I want to give, I mean, hell, Steph Curry has changed the game fundamentally too, where people are now shooting the three, right? So, no, I just think like there's always that debate, and I think LeBron is chasing the ghost of Jordan. It's like, in Mario Kart when you're like doing time travels and like or time trials and you're chasing the ghost of yourself. Well, LeBron is playing Mario Kart and he's always chasing the ghost of Jordan, and I don't think he needs to. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's different eras, different times.
But, and I think that's because most people have the Jordan memory refreshment. But like you said, I put a thing on my Facebook thing with Bill Russell today, and it's just like 10 rings as a player, 1 as a coach. And never it gets mentioned in many things, having to fight through, like you said, the racial type stuff back then, part of the 60s civil rights movement, and gets passed over. And keep in mind, all these other guys went to college for part of their career. Well, LeBron was straight out of high school, so he should be catching people. He has like 3 extra years most of them. So it's not a surprise. So when you put the reality angle into it, he should be there. And I like LeBron as a player. I like LeBron off the field. But think about this too. And I was like getting my Saban soapbox again. If he would have been in the 80s playing, the Pistons, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Sixers, and he'd have been sitting there whining about fouls and flopping around, what do you think would have happened to him? He wouldn't have finished the game. They would have took him out. It was a different league back then.
I get that, but if he was playing back then, he wouldn't be flopping like that.
Well, he wouldn't, because he know what would happen if he were flopping. So it's kind of like it's like the Tom Brady rule in football, right? Hey, he was next to me. You better throw that flag. He didn't knock me down, but he was close enough. I felt his breath. Throw the flag. Throw the flag. So he has like that. Now people say he gets slapped all the time. He didn't get beat. Shaq got beat up in the league when he was playing. Got beat up. It was Hack-a-Shaq. They literally called it Hack-a-Shaq. So not to go on the soapbox and a gaming show about sports.
They showed a video.
This week got me a little riled up. I got my Nick Saban box.
Got him all hyped.
Yeah,
What's happening?
Call back to Nick Saban. Love it.
Okay, so we're going to be done with Rod J's NBA talk here. And we're going to get back on schedule.
It's because Art has NBA Jam in the background. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is a problem. It is. It's a problem that it's not done yet. Someone needs to bring that shit back. And I love Dr. Yeah, well, I'm not going to confirm or deny. How about that?
It was the afro.
Also, too, with the NBA, like Gil, just say what you said, man, in the chat, because I think it's a good point.
Steve Kerr, right? 5 rings as a champ, 3 as a coach. So rings aren't the end all be all.
Well, no, Big Shot Bob has like 6 or 7, I think. So
yeah.
So, but no,
one of the things I think goes unsaid about Larry Bird is like he won as a player. He won MVP as a player. Then he won Coach of the Year, and then he won GM of the Year as a GM. I'm like, that's one hell of a hat trick.
Yeah. I mean,
all right, y'all. We're gonna wrap up this random.
You went a random. You got random, son.
I did. We left it all open.
That's true.
Right.
I'll get it right this time. It is Freestyle February.
Gil, stop it.
Don't even get me started on Tony Kukoc.
Right, let's go. Let's talk some Tony Kukoc. Talking about changing the game.
Right. I was going to ask y'all about the Switch's legacy, but we'll probably have to save that for another time.
It's probably going to switch it up.
Switch or LeBron? Who's got the better legacy? Go.
Ooh.
The Switch. I thought the Switch was going to be when that shit was like the idea of it was first released. I was like, this is going to be dog shit. I thought it was going to be such dog shit when I first saw it. I even remember saying this is a total flop, and boy was I wrong.
I think people when they first thought the Switch might thought it'd been like another PSP like debacle or something.
Yeah,
it was the next one they tried after Wii U, and that was fucking rough.
And as my boys love to tell me, Nintendo is every other console is a banger. Is what Slothy says. Oh. Every other console is a banger. So we had the Wii, which was a banger. We had the Wii U that was horrifying, and now we had the Switch. So my sons are predicting the next console after the Switch is going to be dog shit.
I didn't mind the Wii U. Yeah. I like the Wii. I like the Wii U with the controller with the screen on it. Yeah, it was like a half Switch. I kind of like the Wii U.
It's like the old Star Trek movies. Every third one, every odd one was the one that was the better Star Trek movies. All the evil ones were bad. Art knows what I'm talking about.
Right. We're my boys are definitely talking like money, like sales wise too.
Yeah.
So because they enjoyed the Wii U, they said it, but like at the same time, not many people went back and bought like multiple ones or like in my house where we have 3 Switches, and we have 4 people in the house and 3 Switches. So right. So we were even thinking about buying the 4th Switch for the 4th person in the house last Christmas. We didn't do it, but we were even thinking about it just because of that portability and that able to us can have our own games on there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Switch legacy.
Shout out to Zach, talking about being drunk. What's undeserved country? Just wondering, bro.
Wait.
Do we like
Who's
run this
sipping the
other
sauce
country?
now, Zachy boy?
I don't know.
That was a Star
Shots
Trek.
fired.
That was Star Trek on Discovery
Oh,
Country.
on Discovery Country, yeah.
But question for you, Dan. Talking about the Switch before you flip it over. So
Yep.
they have those devices now, and I don't know if you guys ever looked at them or thought about them. Are they maybe in a spot to compete where you put them on your cell phone? Like they have the thing that turns your cell phone into a controller, so it makes it portable. Have you guys seen those? Have you thought about those? Like where you, because people are buying those, and it kind of has like a Switch type appeal to it. So basically, your phone, like if you have an iPhone, it's all a screen there. You put the two things that snaps in, and you got a controller in your hand. So some people are playing those now. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's any thoughts you guys had on that.
No, when they also have those glasses now too.
Yeah,
Y'all see those?
No.
Like
yeah.
yeah. What are they, Rod? They're glasses.
They're
and
like
then-
glasses where you play the game inside. But I feel like that's going to be like the Jerk. Remember the Jerk movie when everybody went cross-eyed when he was did the glasses? I feel like that's going to happen with people.
They had that out when I was a kid. I forget what it was. We did one of those on like the nostalgia or like the old retrospective series on the podcast, and there was like one where it was like a little like VR thing that came down. You look like the fucking Borg. To bring it back to Star Trek again. And I forget what the thing was called. Now, granted, that was just like little red lines, and you're just playing like Primal Rage, like one little jump at a time. It's like my little fucking T-Rex like going over.
Yeah.
So it's going to be that with like, oh, well, we can make it like fully AR and something else. Google Glass tried to get that going. I don't think that's really going to pull off too much. And I don't know.
Steve bringing it back. Like I remember, I like trying that thing out in Best Buy. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. But it was cheap enough and on sale where my dad's like, we're not getting Sega, but I'll get you that. Have fun. So yeah. Again, I'll bring it back. Probably another reason I need contacts and glasses between that and the Virtual Boy. I did have one of those, and that was just death.
I still see red from that.
It's burning my eyes.
I used to have retinas.
All right, y'all.
Walking out like Ralphie from Christmas Story. Yeah.
So you're gonna burn your eye out, kid.
This is fun.
All right, y'all. It's time for us to. It's time for Slothy to show us how much time he spends playing Overwatch.
Ooh.
I didn't even know about this shit.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Mystery Heroes rigged. This is a common question within the Overwatch community, that the mode Mystery Heroes, where every time you die, you spawn in as a quote-unquote random hero, that the mode is rigged. So I played 500 games of Mystery Heroes to find out. And after reviewing over 90 hours of footage with 3,237 spawns and 2,834 deaths. And if you're wondering why there's such a gap between spawns and deaths, it's because spawns are counted when you spawn in a match as it's quote-unquote random, and when you die, versus deaths which are counted when, believe it or not, you die. But there was a little overlap because of the fact that if you die and don't respawn and the game ends, it still counts as a death. Therefore, you could have a situation where you die at the end of, let's say, a payload map, evening out the spawns and deaths in that one match. But if you don't die in the end of the match, it doesn't even out, obviously. And when you have modes like Control, we can have upwards of 3 additional spawns to deaths, resulting in an uneven gap between them. But moving on. To figure out if Mystery Heroes is rigged, we're going to have to use the binomial formula, which, to simplify it down, we need 2 things. 1, the number of spawns, 2,237, and the probability of getting a random hero, 1 in 34 or 2.94%. And now you may be asking why 1 in 34 if there's 36 heroes in Overwatch. Well, the 500 games were played in Season 1, so you have to remove Ramattra, and the first 200 games was played when Bastion was disabled from the game. And yes, before you ask, I did play 200 games of Mystery Heroes in 15 days, averaging out to around 13 games per day. But moving on, that leaves us with 3,237 spawns and a probability of 2.94%. So, after making a table, I made a pyramid, and assigned heroes to the amount of spawns, leaving us with something that looks like this. And now you may be asking, well, what does this mean? Well, from 78 to 116, that's roughly 95%, meaning that because every hero lands in that range, Mystery Heroes is most likely not rigged. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. This video took way too long to make. Subscribing would be pretty cool. And if you have any other stupid ideas, drop them in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time.
So I'm going to start off here because I'm just going to say, you know, great job. But are you like raising the next Neil deGrasse Tyson? Like he had like the specifics and everything he had there. Plus, he had a good amount of time to do it. I mean, that was just awesome.
That was nicely done, but if it did feel like the meme of Sarah Paulson with like all the shit like floating around her head like math. I'm like, I
should have been taking notes. I should have been taking notes. It's gonna be a test next week.
I mean, Zach's not wrong here.
That's fair. That's fair.
True.
That just shows that you get better at bullshitting as you get older. So stuff to look forward to, kids.
He sent that over to me early this afternoon, and I was like, "You played what on what and what? When was this?
You didn't notice he dropped out of school for like 2 weeks?
Right.
Yeah, sabbatical.
Yeah.
So what's going on, fellas? There's a lot going on with y'all. Rod, what's been going on with you? There's a lot going on. You did a wonderful interview I heard last night. I was doing a space at the same time, so I missed it. But what's going on, buddy?
Just staying busy, and beer stuff is going one way. I'm actually doing a revitalization of the channel and a few things. So I have some new videos I'll be dropping out there. But last night, great interview with Drew and Jasmine, Liquid Intrusion, that we went over the brewery they got going on. Got more people I'm lining up for that, but I've also got the reaction channel that just crossed 1,500 subs on that one. So I got to get that one actually rolling some more, which is great because I haven't done anything with it for about a month and a half, but people are still flocking in. And then the gaming channel is the third one I'm going to try to build up at some point, but got some new stuff that I'm actually tying together for that as well. But no, it's been great, you know, take away the workday stuff I got to do. But after that, YouTube, the podcast is blowing up. I'm getting more stuff out of there. I'm getting more people reaching out on stuff. I just had one of the growler companies reach out earlier today on some stuff, and you know, just trying to build a name for myself out there.
What's fun about Liquid Intrusion, and I'm sure it came out in your interview, y'all, is that they are a husband and wife duo, and they both do everything together, including brewing, including recipes. So it's not like, you know, a lot of times where the man's out front and the lady's supportive and helpful, but she's not like out front, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
She's, you know, we all have we all should have supportive wives and ladies behind us. But I know that Rod's wife supports him, but we just never see her. Whereas with the Liquid, and same with me, and same with Art for the most part. But my point is that like Liquid Intrusion, they're both out there. She, if it wasn't for her, Rod, those beers wouldn't taste half as good as they were.
No,
as they are, and we know that if you know them, because she pretty much made that whole Queen IPA, from what I know. So they're just a really interesting aspect in that. So y'all need to check out Rod's the latest one. That's on the Rod J Beer Ventures YouTube, right?
Yeah. The stories that they told yesterday were really cool, and she was actually the one that came across kind of the driving factor behind the cream ale, which is a fabulous cream ale. So if you are, I mean, it's hard to see if you're not around the area. It's hard to get this, but this cream ale is definitely one of the better cream ales I've actually had. Keep in mind, I've had thousands of beers, and I'm not a huge cream ale person, but that one actually won me over really well. And I asked one of the questions. I asked him one of the questions, and Drew was actually happy. He's like, "I'm glad you asked that." Everybody always asks Jasmine that question. It's like he got a chance to actually be out in front on stuff. So it was a great interview. So if people want to see it, you can watch it on YouTube, and if you want to listen to it while you're doing other stuff, it'll be up on the podcast tomorrow morning.
Awesome, Steve. What's going on your way?
We're still going through strong with the podcast. We had a contest that ended in November where we're doing giveaways. That's something else we're going to want to do, still kind of like throughout the year and whatnot. Retro series is done. So now we're starting to move into some more other different original content in between the game review shows. So we just had, our Discord has been going pretty strong. We had Q&A questions come from some of the fans, some new listeners over the past couple years, even though we just celebrated, I think it was our 7th anniversary of doing this, for 7 years. But we have some fun titles coming up, and we're working on a couple other things on the side for some more fun content. Not quite video games, but still within the game realm. So yeah, we're excited for that. So good times.
Excellent. Gil, what's going on with Fan Dads, buddy?
The latest, let's see. We have a review and interviews with the cast of My Dad the Bounty Hunter, which is a Netflix series. So that's on the site right now. Victor and I are going to be screening Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania on Monday. So we'll have a review for that shortly thereafter.
Nice.
Fun. And Art, last and certainly not least, bro. What's going to be going on over in your world?
Yeah, man. Also, congrats everybody to what you guys are doing. The hustle is real, and you guys keep on kicking ass. So keep on, everybody listening and checking this out. Follow these guys and support them. This week, 2 podcasts came out. One with Harry Douglas, used to play in the NFL. Now he's got a brand new show on ESPN Radio. Check that out. A lot of cool stories about grinding, not just in the NFL, but he had this dude was an NFL player and had an internship for radio stations. So it's just pretty cool. Like sometimes people see the end result, but they don't see like the hard work and hustle. Today I just published my interview with Patrick Mahomes' dad. We talked about his baseball career. We talked about, watching his son in the Super Bowl, all that good stuff. Next week, I got Fred Tatasciore. He's a voice actor. It's for the new Marvel animated series, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. That guy, I'm a big fan of voice actors. Last week, kind of cool thing on my mom's birthday. I know she was looking up in heaven. I was actually presenting just like kind of talking about what I do podcast wise and networking, all that stuff to a class at UNC. And I was actually able to hook up some people with some of my contacts for them to get internships. So I felt good, like paying it forward.
Nice.
And since this is also beer, I did something with Athletic Brewing Company last month, and their stuff is good. Whether you want to do dry January or try some days off where you're not drinking the alcoholic stuff, try their brews. They're pretty good. So been a busy week. That's probably why I look hammered, Zach. It's just been hustling.
Excellent. And Doug and I have this week we had the founder of Sorrel, that distillery Sorrel. It's the first Black distillery in America, I believe.
Wow.
Second to Uncle Nearest. Actually, Uncle Nearest was first, and he was second. But Uncle Nearest helped Jackie Summers make Sorrel, so he was on last week. And then this week, Rod, here's somebody that you need to look up, is Sean Taylor from Black Viking Brewing. This guy is energetic. He's from your zone. He is this amazing. He has a Instagram thingy that he does every Friday. Met him at Baron Flow. They have a nice ginger beer that we're going to be talking about on Friday. So we'll be talking to Sean on Friday. It's going to be excellent. But Rod, he's absolutely. I will make sure I say some things about you to him, and he's somebody that you need to look up to because he's just as dope as Liquid Intrusion. So that's what's been going on. We have Lag Libations, Lost Saves. Next week I have Badger Beer Hour. Weekend after that, other shit. So, man, we're all rolling. It's good to hear that y'all are doing well in this new year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And Art, we have to talk about. Art wants to do a bracket for video games. I don't know how we pull that off, Art, but I'm open to doing it.
Just kind of like March Madness, or I don't know if we can say that because we're doing brackets and we're not, whatever, but video game craziness. I don't know. We'll do something where maybe offline we all kind of agree on like a pot of 64. It doesn't have to be Nintendo games, but like 64 games.
I see what you did.
Yeah, I see what you did there. We're going to need two for the play-in.
I mean, there's probably games that we all kind of vote on, and then we kind of, I don't mind kind of structuring up like the 1s versus the 16s. Is there going to be a Cinderella video game that gets by? Will nostalgia save them? We don't know. Stay tuned.
Joe Montana football.
This is
Joe Montana and John Elway in the Final Four.
All right, Art, we got to talk about that because we got to do that shit quick. But I'm open to it, man. I'm open to it. We just got to figure out the logistics. So we'll all What were you gonna say?
Next month, the show is just us picking. It's just gonna be us picking games and like yelling about which games are going on the board.
Right.
God damn it! I need ET.
There's no reason ET should
That's
be
my
out here.
dark horse pick right here.
We might want to do this on Rod's stream because Rod gets those long ass streams going. Rod will go 2-3 hours.
Wait a minute. I've seen some of your Friday night stuff. I've seen your guys go for 2-3 hours.
Yeah, but we've been trying. Again, it's mostly Zach's fault. So, Zach, you know what we're talking about. Because if it doesn't go 3 hours, Zach's like, this show's shitty and it's short and y'all weak.
No one
He
has
writes
Zach
a negative review on Yelp if you don't go more than 3 hours.
Right. Well, that's what we're working on for March, y'all.
That would be. You're right, Gil. That would be cool too.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
First question: how dare you?
Right. New Jack City. It's been so long since I saw that one. That's a classic.
I thought he said VHS.
Right.
Which at the time it was VHS was out, so it could
I
have
still
been.
have my copy of Juice on VHS. No lie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Zach is that for Black History Month? Stop it.
Oh, I don't know if you guys saw or not, but they're actually releasing next month. Mel Brooks finally did it. History of the World Part 2.
Yep.
It's hitting on Hulu next month.
Oh damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just remembered. I'm glad I remember. Rod, a Bill Russell special dropped on Netflix tonight.
Did it
today.
really?
Today,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because I know that Doug. We talk on Fridays this month. We talk about Black history, and we're talking about. We all pick one person that we want to talk about. Doug picked last week, Bill Russell, but he didn't know about this Netflix thing. So I'm telling everybody it came out today. So if y'all want to see that, that is great.
The day after LeBron breaks the record.
Yeah, they
Ironically,
made
that's
it on
Bill
Dropbox.
Russell better than LeBron.
Ironic, huh?
We're not going back to that LeBron conversation. Right. We're not. We're getting out of here. We'll see y'all. We will see y'all next month. Any party shots? Last word.
Go Birds!
Oh,
Fly, eagle,
Oh,
fly. I still remember that
Your
song
team
as a kid.
destroyed my
on a
Niners. Ugh.
fly on a road. What kind of stupid song is that? Sorry.
Fly,
Anyway.
eagle, fly. That's how they started.
On a
off the song.
road. They say on a road.
On the road to victory.
How do you fly on a road?
They thought it was a chicken. They thought it was a chicken.
If you fly and you hit a road, that's splat. Then I run over you, Steve.
That's roadkill,
What?
then. That's roadkill.
What if it's not actually on, but like over, where it's like the OVR, like the old English, where it's like or.
No. Now you're all
not.
mincing. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, before you
We're-
go,
we're right back to
do
Matt
you
Elf,
guys,
like,
do you
goddamn.
guys have a pick? Obviously, Steve's Eagles. Who you guys got?
LeBron by 3.
He's really good at those field goals.
I think Eagles by a touchdown.
Eagles by a touchdown.
Can they both lose?
I mean,
Get the fuck out of here.
Technically, not anymore.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Steve, you know my story. You know I was born and raised in Philadelphia. And you
I
know
know,
I hate all
I
the
know.
teams, and
Yeah.
I just got to give y'all shit. But
That's
at the end of the day, this Facebook user is correct.
Yes.
The Eagles will win this game, probably.
Grease them polls. It's not
Seems
going
like
to do
it's
any
their
good.
seems like it's their year from everything I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So.
they're a
Yeah,
more complete
yeah,
team,
they
I
got-
think.
They're pretty tight. They're pretty tight, even though I don't want to admit it, and I'm not going to admit it to Steve, even though I think I did. But but in post production, I'm going to get that Will Smith. What is it? Men in Black.
Oh, all right. That's
I'm going to erase your fucking memory. Yeah.
You said
So
Will Smith. Keep my
I didn't know.
name,
I-
keep my
I-
wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
I just thought that meant that Greg was going to show up at my front door and bitch slap me the next Tuesday.
Right.
But that's
maybe,
okay.
but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna remember it's me. I'm gonna get that.
What happened?
Whatever. I forget that dumbass movie. Yeah, actually, the first one was good. The second and third one.
But Men in Black, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we went off all kinds of tangents, y'all. It's time for us to get the hell out.
Freestyle February.
Freestyle February.
But
Hey,
See, y'all, we gotta have something on Rod's stream about the NBA because apparently he could go for like hours and talking about this shit. So.
I'm just putting it out there. When you look at things in perspective, you got a few extra years. Players didn't have the 3-pointer. It all adds up where you got to count all that stuff into it. He has the most points, but he's also in a favorable system for it. That's all. It's like right now, the Patriots, when they went undefeated, lost the Super Bowl. Yeah, they were 18-1, but the Dolphins are still praised as a team that had like 17-0. But technically, the Patriots won more games without losing. But
hey Zach, look at Rod bringing stats, not just opinions, man.
Yeah,
Take that.
I just set the table and let people eat. You can dine wherever you want to dine. I'm just setting the table.
It's not wrong.
He's gonna run simulations on Madden for certain simulations to see who pulls it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'd probably be better than those Madden simulators. Are those things even accurate? But whatever.
If you do it on Joe,
no, you got to go by the Puppy Bowl. It's the Puppy Bowl. That's what you want.
That's it.
That's where all the big money's at.
Yeah.
The Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl. Yeah.
All right.
It's got a high predictability.
Don't you speak ill of the Puppy Bowl, right. Greg? Come on now.
You can't go to FanDuel.
I got FanDuel up by 7.
This is going off. This is going off the rails so hard. Bye, y'all.